Hey guys, I'm Kent and welcome back to my channel. So in a previous video I did the installation of the Team Calamari Racing clip-ons. They look awesome by themselves, but they leave the stock triple tree clamp looking pretty ugly because it has the missing hole, and plus there's indentations from the paint where the old, they weren't really clip-ons, they were more screw-downs for the handlebars on the stock setup. I actually have, for demonstration purposes right now, on the right side the new Team Calamari Racing clip-on, and then on the left side the stock clip-on that comes on the bike. Because today I'm going to be installing their new triple tree top clamp. Let me bring this in close to show you what it looks like. But like all of their other products, a gorgeous piece of machining. And it looks like from the holes that it has provisions to run the stock clip-ons if you were so inclined. I'll go ahead and test fit to make sure that you can do that if you'd like. But anyway, the installation should be relatively easy. I'm going to pull off the stock clip-ons. There's a main bolt here that holds the triple tree down, and then it looks like the ignition comes up with it. There's a couple of bolts we'll have to pull off, and the kit comes with, I'm assuming, these black things, and the bolt here at the bottom of the installation package are going to be to mount that to the new triple tree. So let's get this off and the new one on. Check out my cute key here. I took an old screwdriver and just heated the key to melt it back into it. To remove the stock clip-on, you're just removing this M6 bolt. It's an 8mm head. And that's it, it just slides off. For the Team Calamari Racing one, it's a 5mm Allen key. $14mm socket to pull off this center bolt. And I think that's it. And as you can see, the ignition is coming with it. Let's see where the wires are. Not exactly sure where the harness is plugged in, so I'm going to see if I can't just unscrew this and leave the harness connected. Let me get a towel though so I don't scratch up the bike. All right, so just for fun, here is the old stock triple tree clamp, and here is the new one. It's also significantly lighter. This is obviously steel, and this being billet aluminum. But anyway, installation is going to be pretty much as simple as that, and just already that looks great. I need to transfer the ignition though. Again, you can see that on the stock one there were these holes and there was a couple of standoffs that it mounted to. This is going to be a bolt, that black plastic standoff, and then straight into the ignition holes, and it should come through this hole really cleanly instead of this, you know, kind of wonky looking welded on loop. I realized it would be easier just to loosen part of the fairing here and pull the plug. It's this one right here with the red, beige, and black wires coming out of it, so that I can just get this installed correctly here on the bench. Alright, so definitely easier with this off. The hole here was actually pretty tight for my key cylinder, so it did require a little bit of finessing, and in that finesse process you can see pulled off some of the paint. So I'm going to I had actually painted this when I put it in the first time because it was all scratched up. I'm going to mask this off and just lightly shoot the cylinder portion here back to black before we get it back on the bike. But you can see here how it's secured with these two, I think they're Delrin standoffs, and then the studs come, I don't know, like a millimeter, half a millimeter through the top here. I think that actually looks okay filling that space. But definitely a cleaner solution having this surrounded by aluminum instead of that weird welded metal hoop. So let me get this touched up here with a little bit of paint, and then we'll get this back on the bike. Okay, so let's get this popped back on. Like so, and get the ignition plugged back in. Okay, so I stopped filming there for a second and I didn't capture it, but it did require a little bit of finesse. There's a lip off of these fork legs where this thinner diameter is what goes inside the clip-on, and then there's a thicker diameter that is the tube. So you need to make sure that it's that the triple tree is over that second lip. Initially I had it set up here and obviously it wouldn't clamp. But you can also see now that this is pretty much flush where the steer tube is coming through. So now it's just a matter of popping the clip-ons back on. And again, I'll show what both the stock one looks like. Actually, let me do that first because I'm assuming again that this hole is to support if you want to run the stock. Yeah, and you can see that hole lines up perfectly. In which case you would just put the bolt back through here, zip it down, and then be good to go. Or run it like that with the clip-on setup. I think both look great. Also need to replace the main nut here and torque that down. But yeah, what a gorgeous looking piece of kit. The machining looks fantastic. Again, I like how it goes all the way around the key switch now. Something else I noted in my installation video on the clip-ons was that if you want to run the stock brake reservoir, you need to run these clip-ons about 1 inch longer than stock. So I cut 1 inch off of this, so this is 1 inch shorter than it came, but it's still 1 inch longer than the stock setup. And honestly, I kind of prefer the stock length. So I think, especially since there is a provision to run these original clip-ons for now, I think I'm just going to go with this setup. So let me pull these off, and I need to torque these down. These pinch bolts are only M6 bolts, so I'm only going to torque them down to 9 foot-pounds. And this M10 steer nut I'm torquing down to 34 foot-pounds. All right, so again, absolutely gorgeous machining. I think it looks great even with the stock clip-ons. And you can see what I was talking about here, how the stock reservoir comes all the way over this part of the bar that it can't if you're running the clip-ons, the aluminum clip-ons, which then are a little bit longer. And again, I like it shorter and compact. But yeah, awesome product, awesome add to the bike. So a big thank you to Team Calamari Racing for letting me try out this product. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. I'll link directly to it in the description below and include a discount code. I think it's just East Coast-ish if you're interested in picking one up for yourself. Anyway, Team Calamari Racing also sent me a lot of other parts that I'll be doing install videos on. So if you're interested, please make sure you subscribe. If this video was interesting at all, please give me that thumbs up. Thank you everybody very much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos and keep on building.